I'm Sam Ohaj.
And I'm John Matthews.
With Season 7 of GBTV's The Gameclock. Today is January 8th as this recording is happening, so all sports may not be up to date. And your varsity news. Gameclock's very own Max DiCaprio won the NFA school record with 197 wrestling wins. This is a huge accomplishment as last year Tyler Serafini had the record with 196. Max DiCaprio will also become the first Newburgh wrestler to reach 200 wins this Friday at Sullivan County. So good luck to Max and congratulations.
Newburgh basketball boys varsity beats Monroe 64 to 59 in overtime. Jalakai King led the way with 20 points.
And your MLB, NBA, and NFL news. So it seems like the Dodgers can't catch a break. In both back-to-back World Series they lost. They both lost to teams that have been accused of cheating. In the recent thing, we had the Astros getting accused of using signs in the outfield and stealing signs. However, what the Red Sox were doing, I think maybe a little bit more worse than what... So what they would do, the Red Sox, is that they would run replays of the system, and they would send the players in so they could see the signs and they could steal them. So it's pretty crazy to think that all this technology is coming out now, and all these people are getting accused of cheating. And it also follows around with the Red Sox current manager, Alex Cora. Obviously, he was on the Astros the year they cheated in 2017, and then he went to the Red Sox, and then they cheated again. So it's in his DNA almost, but
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
In your NBA news,
There's really nothing. I mean, Anthony Davis declined his max deal, but he's going to get $200 million this offseason. Stay with the Lakers probably.
one thing that we probably could say is just how Luka Doncic is really running away with the hearts of NBA fans. I mean, he's getting some big praise from some big people. Like Jerry West, the logo of the NBA, is saying that he will be the greatest player to ever lace up and play in the Dallas Mavericks uniform, which is some pretty high praise given the fact that they've had some talented players come through that locker room.
Yeah, no, it's just like him on and off the field. Like, he's like the perfect role model for an NBA player. And they even said it best. Like, the reason why he's so great right now and he's only in his second year is because he's been a pro since he was 16 years old.
And he's not even old enough to go to a bar and buy a drink, but he's already in the top leaderboard, top 10 for most 30-point triple-doubles. That's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes second in MVP voting. Maybe first if he somehow gets on a hot streak and Giannis falls off. But as of right now, I think Giannis is probably my MVP of the league again.
That's a fair assessment.
And your NFL news. The Bills, the Patriots, the Eagles, and the Saints all lost. This is not really a shocker, except for maybe the Saints game, but...
Definitely the Pats, though.
I mean,
not as much of a shocker as it would be like last year, but I mean, who thought that the fall off of the Patriots dynasty would come in the wild card game to Ryan Tannehill, who couldn't even start for the Dolphins last year? I think that's kind of shocking.
Yeah, it's actually crazy, but you know who led the way was King Henry. Derrick Henry's. If they didn't give the MVP to a quarterback, they would probably give it to Derrick Henry. Like, obviously it started off with Christian McCaffrey at the beginning of the year, and like he was dominating, but as the season went on, you saw running back Derrick Henry just take the league by storm, and he came and won the rushing chip. That's how you win games, is with running the football, and Derrick Henry does exactly that. He's just a downhill runner. You saw him at the end of the game, like usually you think that he's tired, and he's still going, getting 10 yards a carry. And it's also insane because a Bill Belichick defense gave up that many rushing yards to a running back. And Ryan Tannehill only threw for 78 yards. That's insane.
The majority of which was thrown to Derrick Henry. So...
Yeah, no, that's actually a really crazy thing to happen. But also, too, Kirk Cousins finally silenced a lot of the haters. Captain Kirk was 0-26 against teams with a 700 win record, and the Saints obviously were feeling themselves. They got a lot of unfair calls their way the last 2 years, but now they're complaining that they didn't get a pass interference. But you could clearly see that there was no pass interference on the field. Both receivers are making contact with each other, and it's just... The Saints fans are going to be Saint fans.
Yeah, finally, Captain Kirk got it done. He got a big win in a big-time game, and hopefully the Vikings could use that momentum moving forward. I really hope that they I enjoy watching the Vikings play, and I really hope that they make a run for the Super Bowl.
I honestly think that out of all the remaining playoff teams, the Vikings have the most talent on their roster on both sides of the ball.
They're loaded on both sides.
They have very great talent. It's just that they got to get over the hump with Kirk Cousins, but he's put all that behind him, and he's had a great season. I'm telling you, I don't know, but the Titans will play the Ravens this Saturday. The Seahawks and Packers will play Sunday. The 49ers and Vikings will play Saturday, and the Chiefs and Texans will play Sunday. So it's a great set of matchups, especially with the Texans and Chiefs reversing each other. The 49ers versus Vikings. Jimmy G obviously makes his first playoff appearance. The Seahawks versus Packers is a rematch of 2014 where the Packers led the way until the last couple minutes, and they obviously choked and lost.
Famous comeback victory with the onside kick.
Yeah, and the Titans versus Ravens. Hot take, I have the Titans beating the Ravens. I know like a lot of people are going to say no, Lamar Jackson's MVP of the league, but there's something about the Titans and the hot momentum that they're riding that makes me think that they'll upset the Ravens in Baltimore this weekend.
Yeah, those are two teams that really stick to the ground game, and I'll see that being a very big rushing battle, and whoever can get the run game going first will probably have the advantage, in my opinion. But to change the topic a little bit, how about those new NFL coaches? I mean, a lot of them were pretty, like, we could see where they're coming from, but, I mean, a few were out of left field, like the Giants signing Patriots special teams and wide receiver coach Joe Judge, who has little to no experience. A lot of the New York Giants fans are just, like, in awe and shock right now.
Yeah, about that hire, you know, like he's obviously one of Bill Belichick's disciples. I mean, they haven't had that much.
And Nick Saban too.
Yeah, they haven't had that much success in the league. But you look at someone like Brian Flores, who's actually had a pretty decent year for an underachieving Miami team. I think he's probably the best one to come out. But I don't really know.
Yeah, he turned that Dolphins team around, and I mean, I feel like New York Giants fans, all they could really do is be optimistic and hope that Gettleman and the Mara family have their best interest in heart, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah, no, and especially with I honestly thought Matt Rule was going to go to the Giants with that whole hiring.
He wanted to go there. He wanted the Panthers to match their offer, but the Giants, to match the Panthers' offer, but the Giants just were unwilling to. I don't know. I think they really wanted a hard leader and somebody that doesn't take any nonsense, and I guess Joe Judge is the guy for them.
Yeah, and you know Matt Rule got such a huge contract with the Panthers. I don't blame the Giants for not wanting to match it. 7 years and $60 million for a coach with no NFL experience is a lot of money.
Yeah, I think that's where the Giants were leaning towards, more of a dominating force in the locker room.
At least they didn't end up with Jason Garrett as their head coach. That's not a great thing. But the Cowboys hired Mike McCarthy, the old Packers head coach. We'll see where that goes. Obviously, a lot of people said that his offense ran stale towards the end of his career with the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers obviously didn't like that, so they fired him, and they've done a lot better this year under Matt LaFleur, the new first-year head coach, using the running game and the play action a lot more frequently. So we'll see where that goes, but you know, McCarthy said that he's going to start using a lot of analytics, which is the new approach to a lot of sports, including baseball and basketball. Analytics seems to be the way to go. Like, obviously, it's not – you should usually – I don't know how I feel about analytics. Obviously, it costed the Yankees a lot of pitchers in the offseason to get trades. I would go with your gut more than I would go with the numbers sometimes, I feel like. But anyway – and your college football news, LSU versus Clemson. That's going to be a great game. Obviously, you have Trevor Lawrence, who's never lost a career start at Clemson, and you got the Heisman winner, Joe Burrow. It's going to be a duel of the quarterbacks next Monday, and I'm honestly excited to watch who's going to win that title.
Yeah, both of the Tigers are red hot right now, and I think it's going to come down to who could establish their offense first and who really could, because both teams have loaded players on both sides of the ball, especially on the defensive side. So I feel like whoever can play to their advantages more will probably have the upper hand. But we were blessed with those two college football playoff games. I mean, one was a blowout, but still, it was just they were both exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I really thought Ohio State was going to beat Clemson, but then you saw after that whole hit that with the targeting and the halftime comeback, Trevor Lawrence took his team on a 16-0 comeback, and he won the game against Ohio State when Justin Fields threw a pick in the end zone. Yeah, and that was a heartbreaker for Ohio State fans, definitely.
Yeah, definitely don't think that they got screwed by the refs, but I just feel like the momentum shift after that call just was not in their favor, and they just couldn't recover after that. It was hard to recover from something that big.
Yeah, no, there were some questionable calls, though, against Ohio State when it came to Clemson, but I'm not really one to say refs are going to make bad calls. It's human error, and you just got to live with some of those calls.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I'm Sam Ohaj.
And I'm John Matthews.
This is the Gameclock.